Hi, my name is Rebekah Ricks. I'm here at the Homeschool Connection in Winter Haven, Florida with our weekly show, The Brew. And The Brew is a mixture of people, events, or things that come together to form a more potent whole. And we want to make your whole a whole lot better. And since it's Friday, we're doing our special show, An Extra Shot of Espresso, because by Friday morning, I think we all need an extra shot of espresso. So here I am, and I have my special cup, the We Can Do It cup that I got at the National Archives in Washington, D.C., which is a story in itself because I really wanted a coffee mug from there. So today, our verse for the week. So usually on Fridays, we go through our verse. Our verse for the week that we want to talk about is Matthew 11:28. And it says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." So it's Matthew 11:28. "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And the very first thing that makes me think about is the very first word is come. Come unto me. You know, sometimes I think that's the hardest part. You know, I have a little 1-year-old now. He turned 1 yesterday. Yay, we made it to 1. And so many times they can be hurt or they want something. You say, "Come here," and they just sit there and cry. They don't want to come. And so I say, "Come unto me." You know, God says, "Come." You know, we have to take that step. It's like a little baby will sit there and cry, and you say, "Come here, come here." And I don't know if they don't want to. They want us to come to them. But you know, it says, "Come unto me." Just come. It's open. It's like he's standing there with his open arms. All we have to do is come. And "come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden." And man, you know, since my little one is 1, of course, yesterday, I was thinking about having a baby and having him and labor and being in labor. And, you know, we think about that and we look back, and probably at the time in the experience, it's pain and it's a lot of different things that are going on. But, you know, that labor brings something. You know, when we labor with a baby, we have that. Or you think about laboring in work and being sweaty and hot and working. So right now it's fall here, but it's Florida, so it's fake fall. So I wore my boots today and I try to feel fall-y, but really that doesn't mean much in Florida because it's 100 degrees out. But in here, it feels like you're laboring if you just walk outside in the heat. You know, but can you imagine the people when I drive by? We've been having a lot of construction out by where we work. You see them laboring, working hard. You know, I think about digging a ditch and being sweaty and hot, or just going out and mowing your lawn. You know, in Florida, it's so hot and that heat is oppressive. Sometimes that's how it is. It says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden." Oh man, you know, and I'm trying not to feel emotional because I feel like it's been a very emotional year, not just an emotional year, but an emotional week. You know, just said my baby turned 1 and he's been sick this week. Oh my goodness, for over a week. And, you know, in the middle of the night, he'll wake up and cry. And so, you know, we're up with him and we get tired and we're emotional. And then we have that heavy laden, those burdens we have to carry, because when you're sick, things don't go away. Just because somebody gets sick, it doesn't mean all those other burdens that you normally carry are there. And there's more burdens. And then sometimes when you don't feel well yourself, you have that burden. And, you know, a lot of times we carry all these burdens around with us. You know, I think for me personally, you know, we labor and are heavy laden, but he'll give us rest. Sometimes rest is such a thing that we need. I think everybody's searching for that. What can we do? There's so many ways and self-help videos of unwinding and relaxing and doing all these things. But you know, sometimes I think that the best way to rest is take that few minutes with God. Just take a couple minutes to pray and ask God, and he'll give us rest. You know, this verse makes me think, you know, we're labor and are heavy laden and he'll give us rest. It's kind of like when he says, "Casting all your cares upon him." You know, it's so hard to do that. And I don't want to say we want to specifically carry on to our heavy burdens, and we try to give our burdens away, and we try to do that and give it away and get rid of it. But you know what? It doesn't say here in this verse that we necessarily have to give it away. There's a lot of things that I feel like my burden has been heavy lately. I feel like I've been carrying a lot of burdens, a lot of things have happened, a lot of things that you carry, a lot of sadness and grief and things that we carry. And sometimes, you know, it says casting. It seems like we're supposed to go somewhere and do something to do that. But you know what the verse says? Come unto me. Just come to him and he'll give you rest. You know, sometimes I feel like, oh man, it has to be a process to get rid of this. I have to do something to get rid of this sadness or this sorrow or this burden that I'm carrying. But you know what, really this week I was thinking about it. We just have to go to Jesus and he'll give you rest. You know, sometimes that burden will still be there, but you know, he can lighten that load for us. He can be there for us when we need him to. So hopefully this week, whatever your burden is, and you know, your burden can be anything. Your burden can be a sick baby that you've been up all week and you have all these other things you have to do. A burden can be a burden can be someone that is sick in your family. You know, I have a really good friend of mine whose sister right now is having a brain tumor removed. Oh man, that's a heavy burden that not very many of us will have to carry. There's another friend here locally, one of our teachers here in Lake Wales, their music director's wife had brain surgery, awake brain surgery, and it was way longer, like 8 hours. You know, that's heavy. That's heavy laden. And we think about those things and are like, oh my goodness, those are big life things. But you know, our things are just as heavy. Carrying the burden of a child that's sick, or what to do, or even if you're homeschooling or teaching your children, oh man, you see your child struggling, that's a heavy burden. You see whatever it is around the house, there are heavy burdens that we all carry. And you know, there isn't a weight limit on these burdens. There isn't a limit on how small these burdens are, or how big they are. He just says, come unto me, all ye that labor. You know, we're all working, we're all laboring, we're all doing stuff every day. We're all struggling to do the best we can and heavy laden. We're all carrying burdens, whatever they are, big or small. And our small to one person, our small might be, to us it might be big, it might be small to someone else, but that's not, you know, God knows everything, all the weights we carry, and he will give you rest. You know, just to think about that, just to think that, okay, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And right now in this moment, I might feel that heavy burden, but there will be rest eventually. You know, someone is there to give us that rest, to hold our hand and to help us. So hopefully that was a little bit of encouragement for you. And usually I don't get so emotional. It's probably, you know, there's a lot of burdens I feel like that God has that I've been carrying lately. But you know, I know that giving it to him is the way to get rest, to get that peace that passeth all understanding is the one to do it. And you know, I always like to say, you know, just remember, if you're watching this, you're not alone. You know, you're not alone. You're not the only one going through it. And I think that's the biggest thing with women. We feel like we're all alone. We look on Facebook and we see how good everybody is, and not everybody puts the bad. And a lot of us are very private. We don't want to tell people how we're doing. But you know, remember, you're not alone. God is there to help. We're here to help. So hopefully that'll help you a little bit. And we'll be back next Friday with another verse. So just keep that in your mind. Come unto me, all ye that are labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. God's there for you. And don't forget, you're not alone. He's there to help.